In addition to that differentiator, that SalesGym training is really about verbal sales fluency rather than kind of that analytic style of sales training. Another thing that's really key is that we really focus in on two areas, which we call sales messaging and sales process. Sales messaging is how we communicate what it is that makes us unique and special, what makes our company different from the competition, why a decision maker should choose us over our competitor. And it's just what we say about ourselves during the sales call. A lot of sales training seems to focus on this thing called the elevator speech. Can you get your, value proposition across in 30 seconds? But we see sales messaging as much more than that. It's really the core of how we communicate what it is that makes us unique and special. And SalesGym puts a lot more emphasis on that than most sales training. We take the time up front to understand your value proposition, what makes you unique and special. We listen to your top performers, your best communicators, and then we build that right into the training. We're not a real big believer in scripts, but we do believe that salespeople need to have that spontaneous effectiveness in being able to shrink their message around 3, 4, 5 really core differentiating factors. And SalesGym training gives them the practice and repetition and coaching and feedback so that they become more concise, their statements have more impact, and they know how to say things that position really good open-ended questions. So that's sales messaging. On the sales process side, it's really about how do you lead a sales conversation so that we first get into that, ask, listen, and understand mode before we go into a solution, presentation, recommendations, and, solving the problem. This is a real challenge for most salespeople, and when you observe them on sales calls, they typically ask a few questions. Sometimes they're effective, sometimes they're not. And then the first opportunity that surfaces, they overreact on it. And as a result of that, they don't surface or bring up to the surface bigger opportunities. So from a sales process standpoint, we're really talking about how to become more engaging in the early cycle of the sale and really understand what the problems and what the solutions could be, so that in the second half of the sale, when we're presenting those solutions, they're going to have a lot more impact because they'll be tailored and we can draw on what we learned, and we're going to really focus on, the bigger opportunity. So in addition to SalesGym really being practice oriented as opposed to strictly being analytical, we really focus on helping salespeople to become effective and fluent at sales messaging and sales process.